Hello everyone, this is 𝗏𝗏 and welcome back to 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗲𝗃𝗃 YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the latest Codechef contest 176 day 4 problems. So let's dive into it. Okay, let's start with the first problem. Chef is participating in a race of y kilometers. However, Chef gets tired and needs to take rest after every x kilometers. And we have to determine how many times Chef will stop to take rest before reaching the finish line. And the input format, so two integers x and y separated by space. Right, now let's say this is my race track of y kilometers and Chef is at 0 or starting point, and after every x kilometers he needs to take rest. Right, he will take rest here for first time, second time, and so on. Right, now the sample example 1 and 2, so x is 1 and y is 2. Right, so race track of 2 kilometers, starting point, and 1 is here. Right, now he'll take rest at 1 and at 2, right, after 1 more kilometer. But do you need to consider this one also? No, right, because the problem statement says you have to calculate number of stops before reaching the finishing line. Right, so simply the answer can be y by x, which is number of x values in y, and only edge case we need to handle is if x is also a multiple of y. So simply answer equals to y by x, and if x is multiple of y, so simply do answer equals to answer minus 1, because we have to not consider the last one. Right, so let's quickly solve this problem. Okay, so as we know, we need two integers x, y, and before that in Java we need a scanner class. System.in. Next, so read x and after that read y. Now declare an answer variable which is initial, let's say 0. Now answer equals to y by x, so number of x values in y, and the one more edge case is if y modulo x is equivalent to 0, then simply do answer equals to answer minus 1. Right, and simply print the answer. Right, so the expected output is 1 and we're getting 1 here. So let's try to submit the code. So yeah, it's working. Okay, now the second question. Chef owns a clothing store and has a limited number of t-shirts in different sizes. Right, and there are 3 sizes available, which are S, L, and XL. And Chef has X small t-shirts, Y large t-shirts, and Z extra large t-shirts. Right, and there are A people who wear small, and B people who wear large, and C people who wear extra large. And each person is happy if they receive the t-shirt in their desired size. However, Chef has a magical tailoring machine that allows him to convert larger t-shirts to smaller ones. That means XL t-shirt can be converted into L t-shirt or S t-shirt, and same thing goes for L. L can be converted into S size. Right, now conversions are one way and irreversible. That means if you convert, you can convert only XL to L, and you cannot convert L to XL one way. Right, this is not possible. And irreversible, that means once you convert XL to L, you cannot revert it back. Right, and each conversion maintains a 1:1 ratio. That means one XL t-shirt can only convert it into one L t-shirt or one S t-shirt, and same thing goes for one L t-shirt can be converted into one S t-shirt, right? You cannot have more than one, right? Now you have to determine maximum number of people who will be happy, right? Now input format, the first line of the input will contain a single integer t denoting the number of test cases, and each of the test cases will contain single line containing 6 space separated integers, which are x, y, z, a, b, c. The number of, so x is the number of small t-shirts, y is the number of large t-shirts, and z is number of extra large t-shirts, and a, b, c, d are number of people want small size, number of people want large size, and number of people want extra large size t-shirts, right? A, B, C respectively. Now for each test case you have to print maximum number of people who will be happy, right? Now how do we solve this problem? So let me write some observations from the problem statement. First thing is, you'll be having some S size t-shirts, some L size t-shirts, some XL size t-shirts, right? And there are few people, let's say A, who want S size t-shirts, and B who want L size t-shirts, and C who want XL size t-shirts, right? Now I can convert XL to L, or XL to S, or L to S, right? But the reverse is not possible, right? Now how do we solve this problem? Simply can I say, first I will figure out how many people are going to get the respective sizes, right? Let's say there are 10 t-shirts and there are 15 people who want S size t-shirts. Then I can simply say, first I will give the first 10 S t-shirts to the first 10 people in the group who want S size, right? And I'll do the same with L and XL. And if I do that, what will happen? Let's say my answer initial is 0, and let's say there is a temporary variable which will store. If it is 10 and 15, I will take the minimum, right? And same thing goes, if there are 15 S t-shirts and there are only 10 people, then also I can only give to 10 people. So I'll simply take minimum of S comma A, right? And if that is the case, so number of happy people currently are T people. And if there are 15 and 10, let's say if a 10 people are satisfied, then remaining S t-shirts are 5, right? So I have to maintain that thing also. So S minus equals to T, and I have to maintain also number of people who are still in the requirement, right? Which is A minus equals to T. Let's say this is 20. That means there are 5 more people who needs the S size t-shirt, right? So I'm maintaining that count here, and I'll do the same thing. With the L size t-shirts, right? So minimum of S comma L and answer plus equals to T, and L minus equals to T, and B minus equals to T. And same thing with the extra large t-shirts. Minimum of XL, or let's say, so this is not S comma L, this is actually L comma B, my bad. And here it is XL comma C, and answer plus equal to T, and XL minus equals to T, and C minus equivalent to T. So what I've done, I've given already existing t-shirts. That means if there are 15 t-shirts and 10 students, 10 people who want S size, I given them to 10 people. And same things go for L also. If there are 20 and if there are 10 people or 25 people, I've given the 20 t-shirts to the first 20 people in the group B, right? Then same thing goes for XL t-shirts, right? Now why am I doing that? Because obviously I can convert XL to L and XL to S, but I cannot convert S to L or S to XL, right? This is not possible, right? So if there are any t-shirts left after being dispersed to C people, if there are any t-shirts left in XL, I can convert them to L or XL, right? And same things go for L. If after dispersing L t-shirts to first B people, if there are any t-shirts left in L t-shirts, I'll simply give it them to, I will convert them into S t-shirts and I'll give it to A people, remaining A people, right? That is what. First I'm maintaining the remaining count here. Okay. Now what I'll do? I'll try to convert XL t-shirts to S t-shirts or XL t-shirts to L t-shirts, right? These are two possibilities, right? Now how do I convert them? First, I need to know what are the minimum t-shirts available for me. So minimum of the remaining XL t-shirts, and so if I want to convert it to S t-shirts, to whom I have to give? To the remaining A people, right? And same thing goes here. Here XL comma B people, right? And if you give them, the answer will be increased to T. And if you are giving XL t-shirts, I have to subtract those XL t-shirts from actually existing XL t-shirts, and same thing goes for A also, right? And here also XL minus equivalent to T and B minus equivalent to T, right? And there is one more option. What is that? One more option is I can convert L t-shirts to T t-shirts, right? Sorry, L t-shirts to S t-shirts, right? So to do that, simply I can get the minimum available t-shirts of L, comma, if I want to convert to S, so to whom I have to give? To A people, right? And simply, so here we missed one point, which is answer plus equals to T, and here same thing, answer plus equals to T. And so if you used L t-shirts, so L minus equals to T and A minus equals to T. So at last what will be the answer? The variable answer, right? So what am I doing in overall here? First, I am giving the available t-shirts to available people in ABC, right? So if there are 15 people here, 15 t-shirts here, there are only 10 people, I am giving the 10 t-shirts to A people, and there are few t-shirts remaining. So I am trying to disperse the remaining t-shirts to the remaining categories, if that is possible, right? Simple. So let's try to code this problem, right? To write the code, first we need to declare a scanner class. Right. After that, as given in the problem statement, there are t test cases. So let's say in test equals to sc.nextInt, right? And for each test case, we have to print the answer, right? So I'll test minus greater than 0, right? After that, now input format. First, where x is denoting the S size, y is denoting the L size, right? L. And after that, we are having XL size t-shirts, and we are having A people, we are having B people, right? And we are having C people, right? Now for each people I need to take input, which is sc dot next int, and I'm just copying that for every input, right? Right. So I'm taking the input. Now we need an answer variable which is initially 0, and we need a t variable to find the minimum, right? So first, what are we doing? We are giving the respective two t-shirts to the respective required people, right? Which is nothing but t equals to math dot min of s size and a people, and answer plus equals to t, and a minus equals to t, and s minus equals to t, right? And same goes for the remaining, right? Which is t equals to math dot min of l comma b, and answer plus equals to t, and after that l minus equals to t, and after that b minus equals to t, right? After that t equals to math dot min of xl comma c, right? And answer plus equals to t. After that we're having xl minus equals to t, and after that what we have to subtract c minus equals to t, right? We're done distributing the respective t-shirts to the respective people. Now we need to take care of the converting the t-shirts, remaining t-shirts, right? Now I can convert xl to yes, right? So which is t equals to math dot min of, there are xl t-shirts and a people, right? And answer plus equals to t, and subtracting the value from a, and after that same thing from b, so xl. And I can also convert xl t-shirts to L size t-shirts, right? Which is, I'm just copying this, okay, and xl comma we're converting into b, and answer is plus t, and I have to convert b value to reduce the b value. Next, there are L t-shirts remaining. If there are L t-shirts remaining, I have to convert into yes. That's same. So copying this and pasting it here. So there are L t-shirts, and I have to convert into S, which is A people for A people, and answer is same, and you need to change A and you need to change L, right? At last what will you do? Print L and answer, right? Let's see if it is working or not. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it is working now. So let's try to submit it. Yeah, this got submitted, right? Now the third question, chef is going to meet n people. Each person speaks one of the 5 languages A, B, C, D or E. Chef does not know any language to start with. To communicate, he has 2 options. Chef can learn a language for a fixed cost C. Once a language is learned, so he can talk with everyone who speaks with that language, right? And chef can hire a translator to help him. The cost of hiring translator goes up each time he uses one, no matter which language it is, right? Irrespective of language, every time he uses a translator, the cost goes up. For example, the first time the cost is 1, the second time the cost is 2, and the third time the cost is 4, and the fourth time if you use the translator, the cost is 4, and so on. And input format, first line is number of test cases, and every test case has 2 lines, which are here. The first line is the test, each test case is containing 2 variables n and c. N is the number of number of persons, right? And C is the cost, right? And second line contains a string of length and which contains characters A, B, C, D or E, right? Which is the language spoken by the ith person, right? Now how can we solve this problem? If you see the sample input here, so there are N is 3 and C is 10 and the string is AAA, right? If in the AAA, so for the first one, what are the options I'm having? Either I can learn the language or use a translator, right? If I learn the language, what is the cost? The cost is 10, right? And if I choose a translator, the cost is 1, right? And the same thing for goes here. So here, either I can learn a language or choose a translator, right? So let's say the first one is, for first one, for I, so I can either, for I minus 1 and for I minus 1, I can either learn a language or choose a translator, right? And same thing goes for I minus 1. Either I can learn a language or choose a translator, learn a language or choose a translator, right? And it keep on going. And can you see that this is a backtracking problem? Since simply we can say that because every position is having two options, right? And we have to explore two options and find the better one among the two options, right? So simple. Now what we will do, since it is a backtracking question, what are the steps of writing backtracking? First step is define a function. Let's say my function name is int, let's say f, and figure out the parameters. So what are the parameters I required? I require the string s, which is containing all the persons and number of people I'm having, right? And after that, the cost, right? And what is the initial translator cost, right? So translator cost, let's say T cost is translator cost, okay? And along with that, already learned language, right? What are the languages? Jeff already know, right? So that let's make it in a string for that string. So let's say X or let's say L, okay? Let's say L languages Jeff already knows, right? Now writing the backtracking code. First, what is the option? Either I can choose a translator or I can choose to learn a language, right? So let's say first I'm trying to choose a translator. What will be the cost? Let's say int choose translator, okay? Let's say trans, okay? So what is the cost of choosing translator? First, the T cost will be added to the function, and what about remaining n minus 1 strings, right? Which is s comma n minus 1 and C is constant. But if I'm already using the T cost will be incremented by 1, because if I'm using the translator now, for the if I use in the future, the cost will be plus 1, right? And L is as it is, right? This is one step. And after that, what will you do? I can learn a language, right? So before learning language, what should I check first? First, I should check whether I'm already known that language or not, right? So first, let's see whether I know that language or not, okay? Let's say flag. Let's say flag, boolean flag. So let's assume that I don't know that language initially, okay? And I have to search where? In the L, right? So let's say ch, let's say in L dot to character array, right? And in this, what should I do? I should check whether if ch is equivalent to s of n, right? If they are equal, that means flag is true, and we can simply come out of the loop, right? This is one way. Now after this, what should I do? So if flag is true, what is the cost? Let's say int, let's say some x value. So is initially 0 if flag is not true. Why? Because if I don't know the language, I can simply say x equals to what? The cost to learn the language. And also, when you see that the learned language will also be updated, right? Now watch, how should I update that? Let's maintain a different string variable. I'll just copy that to the string variable. Okay, let's say string some L1 equals to L, and L1 plus equals to s dot 𝗟𝗏. So this 𝗟𝗏 will be added to caret, right? Caret of this is to be added in my new list of languages learned, right? And how do I, let's say, to learning, right? Let's say learn is a variable. If I learn, what will be the cost? So x is the cost, right? Because if I am already known the language, x is 0. If I don't know the language, x is c, right? And plus, and remaining function, what is the function? To find the cost of remaining n minus 1, right? Which is s comma n minus 1 comma, what are the remaining variables? C. After that, what is that? Total cost. So t cost will not change because we are not using translator, and L will change to L1 because if I don't know the language, L1 is new L1 will be having extra character, which is not n. Sorry, this is not I, this is n, because we are using n as an index, right? And what will you return at last? We'll simply return minimum of learn and translator. Yes, that's all, and everything is taken away by the backtracking function, right? So this is the code, and we are missing something, that is, so this is not there here, that is base condition. When will you reach the base condition? So if there are n characters, let's say A, B, C, D and E, this is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. What is n value? N value is 5, and you start calling the function with 4. And when do you reach the base condition? When n is minus 1, right? So if n is equivalent to minus 1, what will you do? You simply return. If there is no person, so the cost is obviously 0, right? Simple. Now let's try to write the same code. So I'm directly taking the input, right? Now let's say my answer is equal to, I'll declare a function which will tell me the answer. Okay, so I'll pass an s and the cost. After that, I need to know the translator cost, which is initially 1, and already known languages, right? And we'll simply print the output. So this is nothing but answer. But you have to take care of one thing, which is that, so my n is not a natural n, it is n minus 1, because I'm using a 0 based index. So the last index in s is n minus 1, right? Now I'll declare the same function here. Static int fun, so string s comma int n int c and in t cost, and after that you also need the already learned language, right? learned line, right? And after that, I should know the translator cost. If I use a translator, what is the cost to me? So first, T cost is to speak with the current person, and cost to speak with the remaining persons, which is s comma n minus 1, and T cost will be updated to plus 1 because if I currently use the translator, if I use the translator in the future, that should be increased, right? As mentioned in the problem statement. And next, I want to learn the language. If I want to learn the language, what shall I do first? First, I should see whether I already know the language or not. How do I do that? Simply maintain a boolean variable flag, which initially false, let's say false, and for loop for I have to trace over or iterate over all the learned languages and see whether I already know the current language or not, right? Which is ch. So learned language dot to. I'm just converting the learned languages to character array, and after that you can simply compare if ch is equivalent to s dot caret of n. That is true, that flag will be true, and if flag is true, simply break, right? Now if flag is false, what should I do? I should have the translator, learning cost, right, which is let's say int x equals to 0. If I already know the language, the cost is 0, right? And I have to also update the learned languages, right? Learned line, this is initially learned line, and if flag is false, which means I don't know the language, x will be c, and learned language, sorry, new learned language is updated with current character, which is current lang, right? And at last, int learn equals to, so cost to learn the current language and speak with him, and after that cost to speak with n minus 1, which is function call, right? Cost comma, so instead of learn language we have to use new learned language, right? And are we missing something? Yes, here we did not add capital C, and the same thing goes here. So here also capital C is missing, right? And anything else? No, and we can simply return dot min of learn comma translator, right? That's all. And one more thing, we are having base condition, which is if n is equivalent to minus 1, which is there are no persons, we can simply return 0, right? Yeah, now let's try to run the code. So there is small compilation error, simply so is its expected output is 6, 5, 3 and 14, and let's try to submit the code. And yeah, the code got submitted, right? Okay, the fourth problem, you are given with the two non-negative integers n and m, and n is less than m, and a beautiful sequence is defined as a sequence which containing these following numbers x1 to xk, some k numbers, and all of them are distinct, they are unique and non-negative numbers. That means they are starting from 0, right? And the maximum value can be at most k. That means any xi should be less than or equals to m, and it is a non-negative, so it should be starting from 0, right? And that is the first condition. Okay, and the second condition, so they should be unique, which is already discussed. And the third condition is any xi value and xj value that should be equivalent to n, right? What does that mean? That means the bitwise AND of xi and xj is n, right? And the length of k is greater than 1, which is the subsequence length should be at least 2, right? And if you're given two non-negative numbers, print the longest beautiful sequence. If there are multiple sequences with the maximum possible length, you may output any one of them, right? If there are multiple, you can choose any one of them. And if there is no beautiful sequence, then print -1. That is the problem statement. Now let's see the sample input. So for the sample input, so 3 and 7. So what is this is n and this is m. So since n is m less than m, so what are the options I got here? So I got 7 and 3. What is the bitwise representation of 3? 1, 1 and 0. Sorry, 0, 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1 for 7, right? If I do AND, I am getting 0, 1 and 1, which is 3, which is equivalent to n, right? Yes or no? And you can see that, and you can also see that, so this is n, and so in n is also included in the, I can also include n in the sequence. That's why k should be at least greater than 1. That's because the default value in the sequence can be n itself. Okay. Now, what about the other number, which is 7? So if you see 7, it is following all the conditions. So 7 is a possible number. Now let's take an example and understand this. Okay, let's take a small example. Let's say 25. So binary representation of 25 is nothing but 16 plus 5, which is 16 plus 5, and remaining all are zeros, right? Remaining all are, let's say there are zeros here, right? Now let's say m is some 31, okay, or let's say 40, okay. Now let's say xi, there is some number xi. So let's say there are few bits in xi and there are few bits in xj. These are the two numbers I need, right? Now I want the AND should be exactly the value of 1 0 1 0 1, right? And remaining all should be definitely zeros. This is the value I have to have. That means now what are the if I want to have 1 here, I should definitely have 1 and 1 here, and I have to, if I want to have 1 here, I have to have definitely 1 and 1 here, and I have to have 1 here, I have to have definitely 1 and 1 here. Now, but I can have 0 here. If I am having 0 here, I should have 1 here, right? If I am having 0 here, I can have 0 here or 1 here. Is that possible? This is possible, but this will give you only these two numbers, right? But if you, this is already n and this is one more number, which is n and some x value. These are two values. But if I take this number, if I don't take this number, okay, if I take 1 here, this is one more value, right? This is n comma some x value. If I take 0 here and one more value, I can also take something like this. This is one more x2 value. There are 3 numbers possible for me, right? There are 3 numbers possible for me. But if I take 1 1 here, if I take 1 1 here, is this value possible? No, right? Because you'll get 1 here, right? This is not possible. And is this value possible? No, obviously no, right? Because you'll get a 1 here. I should be having 0 here. That's why you should not have all the bits to be set here. All the zeros in the number should not be set. Only any one of them can be set. So simply can I say, and one more condition, this x value should be less than or equals to m, right? Now what can I do? I can simply And same thing goes for here. If I am having 0 here, I can also have 1 here, because ultimately you will get 0, right? That will also work. Now what can I do? Simply for all bits, for I equals to 0 to I less than or equals to 62, because positive numbers I plus plus, simply in the array list, let's say list initially has list, let's say list is empty initially. Okay, list can be added with n, because n is a possible answer, right? Now what can I do? I can simply say if n and ith bit of n, if ith bit of n, because I'm using a 63-bit number, I have to use one long shift, one long, and if ith bit of n is equals to 0, if it is equivalent to 0, what should I do? Simply say if n plus 1 long left shift of 5 is less than or equals to m. If it is less than or equals to m, you can simply say that this is a possible answer, right? Simply I can add it to my answer, n plus 1l left shift of 5. That's all. And if not, you cannot add. And at last, simply check for the if condition. If ls dot size is less than 2, if it is at least not 2, you can simply print -1. Else you can simply print the size and sequence. Simple. Okay, let's try to code this up. Now I'm taking the input directly. Now as we can see here, the constraints are saying that we are having 10 power 18 numbers, right? I mean the maximum number of n and m are 10 power 18. That means it is a long number, so I'm taking it as long. And to store the sequence, I need array list. Let's say array list and type simply long, right? List equals to new array list, right? And the default value in the array list is n, because n itself is the answer, right? And now for each bit from 0 to 32, I need to see whether if n and one left shift or one L, because it is a long data type, one left shift I is equivalent to 0, because at 1 you definitely need to have 1 itself. I mean at set bit you should not change anything, because that should be set always, because I want to have a n value, right? And now if it is 0, I can have 1 there, right? I can change that to 1. So simply if, let's say, or else long x equals to n plus 1l left shift of I, right? If this value, if x is less than or equals to m, if that can be the one of the conditions, you can simply add that value to the list, right? Add x to the list. And after this, simply if list dot size, if the size of the list is less than 2, you can simply print -1. Else what will you do? You'll simply print the size, so which is L dot size, right? It is mentioned in the ground statement, so we are printing size and elements, right? Now for that, for int I equals to 0, I less than ls dot size, and I plus plus print. What will I print here? ls dot cut off I and with some space, right? And then what will you do? We'll simply print next line. That's all. And let's try to run the code. So it is working. So that as mentioned, we can print in any order. So that is correct. And I clicked on submit button. Let's see it's working or not. Yeah, it's working. So that's all. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you find these solutions helpful, please don't forget to like the video and share it with your fellow coders. Also, hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all the coding contests and solutions. And let us know in the comment section what other content would you like us to make. Until next time, keep coding and keep growing.